For the latest, meanwhile, now on the investigation into what is now believed to be a collected, related string of incidents, I want to bring in CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Jeff Pegues. While in Washington, we're joined by CBS News security consultant and former FBI Assistant Director Ron Hosko. Good to have both of you with us. Jeff, let's begin with you as it regards the FBI's release of the name. Ahmad Khan Rahami, 28 years old. What can you tell us?
Well, this is the guy that obviously they're looking for, and it goes back to the surveillance video at the scene of the Chelsea incident. So he is the link between the incidents in Manhattan as well as the incident in Seaside Park, New Jersey. And so in a lot of ways, it comes down to the details in this investigation and that flip phone, the triggering device for the explosive devices. That is one of the common links here, and now they have a face to match what they think were his actions, and so they're trying to track him down and see if he was part of something bigger, a cell of operatives, because what we're hearing right now is that he may be part of a cell of suspects. Which
would obviously suggest, Ron, that there are more than suspects to be found. If it's believed, as it is, then that the incidents in Seaside, Elizabeth, and here in Manhattan are all to a degree related. Where's the investigation going at this hour right now?
In as many directions as possible, to link these cases forensically, to look at the specific devices themselves, see if they can find DNA, see if the chemical analysis suggests the devices are all tied together. Is the commonality this flip phone that we saw in the one Chelsea unexploded device? Did anybody call that phone? Where was that phone purchased? Is there video at the point of purchase? So it is to look at this person very closely, look at his network, and internally to the FBI, as always, look at their holdings and understand, did we have this guy on our radar at some point? What do we already know?
These attacks, Ron, and certainly the cells that support them have been and become something of a way of life in Western European capitals. If a ratified discovery of a terror cell was made here, what would it mean?
Yeah, it's very concerning. Of course, in today's day, we look immediately to ISIS as the inspiration. We look at how did we vet somebody like this? How did he get in? Of course, he's naturalized. But what does his network look like? Is there something much bigger, much more nefarious? And what were their designs?
I know, Jeff, thus far, no official claim has been made by the Islamic State or another formal organization, if you will. In terms of the time, how much time might elapse before it's believed perhaps this is a self-radicalized individual?
Well, that could take some time. What investigators are trying to do, and what they typically try to do in cases like this, they get control of cell phones, they get control of computers. There is no indication at this time that they have this person's cell phone or computer, something that they could scrub for information, his contacts, what he was saying to whoever is out there leading up to those events. So that's what they're looking for, trying to see if there is some sort of evidence that will help them develop more information on what led up to these incidents. To your point about the claims of responsibility, ISIS has been sort of erratic in how and when it comes out claiming responsibility for incidents. In the Minnesota incident, for example, there were reports that ISIS had come out and claimed that suspect as an ISIS soldier. And that was relatively quick, within 24 hours. So my point is, you may not get that from ISIS with this incident. There have been some others where we've been waiting for this claim of responsibility to speak to the motive in this case and a suspect's connection, but sometimes it does not come within 24 hours.
I know things are informed by context. As we saw in the Orlando shooting, we would later learn that Omar Mateen invoked the Islamic State during the course of his attack, though again, ISIS did not formally claim Mateen as one of its own. I know that there's also now a surveillance video that places Rahami at both locations here in Manhattan, 23rd and 27th Streets. We also know that there was a group of 5 people detained in a vehicle on the Verrazano Bridge. It connects Manhattan and Staten Island. Do we know if there is any connection at this point that's been established between Rahami and those 5?
Well, it sounds like there is some sort of relationship. The nature of that relationship is still unclear to us. But that is a group that investigators are questioning right now to see if they know anything. This is one of those investigations that is going to take time. People, I think, expect immediate answers in the society that we live in, but law enforcement authorities, investigators, this is a process. And so they are putting the pieces of this puzzle together, and that's what we're seeing. And now we see that they need the public's help in tracking down this guy, and that's why they are putting out that wanted poster as widely as possible so they can have more eyes and ears looking for him. And also you talk about the network of surveillance cameras in this city in particular. There are thousands of cameras in this city. And then on top of that, if he's driving south, there are toll cameras. So investigators look for those things. They try to see if they can match his face with what they're seeing on their network of cameras.
Fran Townsend, CBS News national security analyst, joined us with a degree of educated speculation, perhaps. The fact that there were 5 devices found dumped in one bag at this train station in Elizabeth, it would suggest perhaps the individual in question was looking to get rid of multiple devices in one swoop, perhaps feeling pressured by authorities closing in, what have you. But given the triangulation of these events, if it's believed that they're all connected, Seaside Heights, Manhattan now, and Elizabeth, what does that suggest about the scope of the investigation, but also what they believe might be out there?
Well, that this is an expanding investigation. That's what it suggests to me. I don't know what Ron would say about that, but this is clearly an expanding investigation. And when you put out a wanted poster like that, now it raises questions about, well, who else may have been involved, and are those people running around as well? And so now, do you cover airports? Do you cover bus terminals? How do you cover all the exits to make sure that this person that they're looking for doesn't escape? So this is an expanding investigation.
Ron, I want to very quickly ask you, with regard to what is also happening here in New York City, the UN General Assembly is underway. The president has arrived to the city. How is that going to inform this investigation?
Well, I think that you'll see New York redoubling its already, muscled up security effort to make sure that the perimeters are pushed back, that they have the right amount of resources there. Of course they do. The difficulty of policing on a side street in Chelsea is the police are not everywhere, even if a camera is. But they can form that protective bubble around all of the right people and make sure that the UN, the UNGA, is very safe.
Again, a very fluid investigation as it develops. We do appreciate the time of you both. Ron Hosko there, Jeff Pegues, I know you'll be with us all morning long. We do appreciate it, gentlemen.